Hey, welcome everyone. Thank you for tuning in. This is our first show in a couple weeks, and I'm really excited to have Ryan Giossi on here. He's the chairman and director of Nova Stars. He will talk to you more about that. It's an unbelievable program that they're putting together down in Suriname. And one of the key things, especially if you're a Bitcoiner while you're listening to this show, they have a Bitcoin adoption financial strategy that I think has caught a lot of attention to include SAS mining with their team, Kent Halliburton, in the program they're running there in Paraguay and Wisconsin. And I mean, it's a great opportunity, great initiative, and bringing Bitcoin adoption to Suriname is a big focus of ours. So I just want to welcome you, Ryan, and thank you for tuning in.
Yes.
All right. Well, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you do?
Yes, definitely. So my name is Ryan. I moved 1.5 years, not like 2 years ago, from the Netherlands to Suriname. My parents do have roots from here. They're born and have their youth here, and then they left with their parents to the Netherlands. But I decided to go back here and create some opportunities and things for the youth because the Netherlands is a caring state. If you need something, you listen to the government. You will get money. They will take care of you. Here, it's like on paper still a third world country, and here people do suffer. Um, they don't have activities after school. Parents don't have time for the kids because they have multiple jobs to pay the bills. Um, So yeah, kids don't have that much time on their like after school to spend with their parents or do something nice or good to bring some more into their lives. So I started with Nova Stars. After I went sick, I started. So I had a gap from 3 months that I was off. I was out of running. Um, but I started the project and we grew really fast because I have recognized that sport is something people really want, but they don't have to the money or the time or the power to bring kids to somewhere to follow classes. Um, what we did is we created a program where we went into the neighborhoods. So instead of a football academy on one place, we decided to go on the artificial grass fields in the neighborhoods. So the distance was 5 to 10 minutes walk to the field to follow this training. Um, with that, we had in our first month like 80 kids on one location. Then we went in the second month to 5 locations and we had 450 kids. And then I thought like let's go crazy and we go all out. So I launched 10 more locations, and we had around 1,300 kids playing through us. At this point, the following the classes was for free, so there was no money involved, no charging anything. But at the end, everybody understands if you organize something and you do something without sponsorships and without funding or whatever, you need there's a point that you need to ask for a participation fee. And as I mentioned, we live in a third world country. People don't have much. They are already surviving. So I really didn't want to do it, but I had no choice. Otherwise, the organization should go bankrupt. Um, yeah, so we lost around 5 to 600 kids because of this money issue. At this point, we have a participation fee for the selection teams, and we do have it for the neighborhood selection teams. I will mention later on, but there is an outstanding amount of almost 39 Surinamese dollars. That is around 1,100 US dollars in if we talk in numbers, so people understand.
Right.
Um, the problem with this is we will never get that money because the parents don't have it. So we decided to do an adoption program. We launched it last week. We have at this point 300 kids in our selection teams. and there we have an adoption program that is called Adopt a Player. Everybody around the world can adopt a player for 10, no, 10 euro, 12 or 12 US, around that a month. With that, you pay for the expenses we make for this player. So instead of asking the kids, we ask it to everybody around the world to step up and do something for them. Because what is in the Western world, right? What
Mm.
is 12 US dollars a month?
Right.
If you buy a beer somewhere, it's around 8, maybe 10 US dollars. And that's what you pay for a kid, like a little bit more for one kid to play an entire month football and
Right.
learn skills like life skills. Um, this program, like Totally Nova Stars, is created because of teaching kids life skills. Football isn't everything because at the end, I don't know how less the percentage is, but it's very less, will be a pro player. Everybody around the world knows how hard it is to become a pro because there's more coming with only playing football. So what we want to do is to create good citizens. We will be already we will always be honest to the kids and tell them that becoming a pro player isn't something um, that is to pick up. Like you need to work hard for it, and you need to do a lot for it to achieve it. And Suriname isn't a country where, like we had in the past, big players, but they are raised in the Netherlands and they played in the Netherlands, so
Mhm.
they are created there. Suriname is upcoming. Like in the CONCACAF, didn't lost the last 6 matches, so they have a good streak. But the level of the CONCACAF is not that high. Everybody knows it's like always Mexico, the US, or Canada, and the rest is like there for I don't know what reason, but just for fun. I think you have
Mhm.
Trinidad, you have Jamaica, you had them in the past, and we are upcoming. Um, More countries are upcoming because of the new rules the FIFA have, so you can play for certain. Um, well, okay, let's go again. You need
Yeah.
to cut that, right? So yeah, and then where was I?
No, you're talking about, it's like a 10 or $12 a month, which
Yeah,
is
yes, sir. Yeah.
basically like you said, a coffee or a beer
Yeah.
for most people in the
So
Western world.
with the adoption program, we really want to introduce the world to what we do, and with that, we can develop the kids to become a good citizen or give them something to empower their lives. Um, we always use the hashtag create futures. That's what we want to do. Football is nice. Football is good. Football is perfect. It's an amazing sport. It's the biggest sport around the world. But for the kids, it's not everything because there's coming more with football than only playing football. If you want to become a pro, you have to have a good mentality. School needs to be good, so your grades, and you need to develop yourself as player in the sport. So, and that's not only for becoming a pro player in football, but that's sports in general. So we try to create that for everybody, and that's yeah, we in the baby steps because this we had our first season. This is going to be our second season. We're starting in 26th of October. So yeah, we're trying. We're getting there. I hope, and we are growing really fast. So
Yeah. No, I think you're doing a lot of amazing things. I think one of the biggest things that has drawn a lot of attention, obviously, is the Bitcoin adoption and Maya Parbo's involvement in this and kind of bringing some attention to it as well. And the opportunities there in Suriname, and with SAS Mining being one, the key sponsor that has been helping monthly. What I found is, and with your overall team, document and forecast for the kids and your demographics of how many kids you have and what the program involves. You made a great point. Very few, right, worldwide will ever make a professional living as a soccer player. So your opportunity on educating your kids and to be good citizens and potentially leaders and grow and develop as young men, young women, or whatever. I mean, just that goes beyond just, the soccer development and soccer skills. They're learning life skills and education. I think that's so important. And I think it's something that's maybe it separates you from other academies that are looking for, especially in the US, right? My kids are an academy, and they try to teach them to be good sportsmen and everything, but the focus is on soccer development skills, sportsmanship. Whereas you go beyond that. Like, can you talk about some of your financial literacy stuff with like Bitcoin and other things that you're providing to kids on the education side?
So the Bitcoin adoption, um, like almost a year ago, I met Maya.
Mm-hmm.
We did talk about a lot of things, and then Bitcoin came up. And I believe in financial freedom because I was already used to Bitcoin. I had it in the past. I lost everything because I had to save and tried to save my company in the Netherlands. But in COVID period, I think a lot of people had a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So I cashed out and I tried to use everything I cashed out everything to fiat. I tried to use it to save my business. Biggest mistake I ever made. But
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, but yeah, life goes on. It happened. Um, and I believe in financial freedom because in this country, if you have US dollars on your bank account, the bank decides how much you can take off your account a month. That's
Hmm.
crazy. Your
Wow.
money, they decide how much you can take off. Um, People need to live free with the money they have. Not security this or checks on this or checks on that. Like people, come on, it's our money. We worked for it, and we want to do with it what we want, right?
Right.
That's what I believe. These kids are suffering already because they're born in Suriname.
Mm-hmm.
Why do they need to suffer with finance if they have the money or the parents have the money? Let them give, let them be free, let them use it, and you know. So I really believe that Bitcoin can be a really big um, positive change in their lives. If you use Bitcoin, like the country wasn't well known about Bitcoin, but Maya is going to good thing because with Bitcoin Suriname, she's trying to have more companies that will accept Bitcoin. So my players can spend the Bitcoin in Bitcoin, so they can send sets instead
Mm-hmm.
of yeah changing it to fiat or and then to use it. But now we have like 39 or 43. I don't know what the number exactly was. The companies that are already using it, and on a population of 500,000 people that lives in the country, we're getting to a big number that accepting it. If you can do groceries, like the primary basics, if you can do groceries somewhere, or if you can pay for your fuel, because in this country we don't have really good public transportation. Um, or things like that. If you can use it for your daily needs, it's perfect. You don't need a bank account here anymore because you can use it somewhere else. We want to do it in a different way. That's like we pay our trainers in Bitcoin. We have a bonus system for our players in Bitcoin. We don't pay a salary to our first team, but we do have a bonus program, a reward program. Like if you come to train, you get a bonus. If you have trained 3 times a week, you have a bonus. Like small fees in sets.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if you win the match, you have a bonus. If you had a clean sheet, the defenders and the goalkeeper will have a bonus. If you have scored, you have a bonus. If you have scored more than 3 times, the full attack have like multiple things like that
Mm-hmm.
to make them work for what they are worth instead of giving something. If you give something to someone, they will lean back and say, I already have it.
Right.
But if you do it this way, they will fight for it and show what they're worth. Assist is more bonus than a goal because I believe you need to teach them that it's a team sport.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody wants to have a goal, but it's more important to have an assist because if you are with two in front of a goal and you can pass the ball, do it instead
Mm-hmm.
of being selfish and scoring. Um, so there are tricks we try to use to implement Bitcoin. We also will have a store with merchandise that will be fully in Bitcoin. Um, and then we're gonna send the shirts. There's a partnership with a supplier. They will do everything and run it. So we have a talk coming today with one of the biggest fitness gyms in
Mm-hmm.
Suriname about our players going there and train. We pay them in Bitcoin. So yeah, we try to find some partnerships, good partnerships, big partnerships, where we can introduce Bitcoin to, and then we hope to change a movement, like create a movement and create a circular economy because you need to start somewhere. And
Yes.
Suriname isn't that well known about Bitcoin and isn't that far, so I hope to do it together with Maya and the businesses she have and
Mm-hmm.
from the like things she's doing, organizations she have, um, to make it a standard. And that's gonna take years, definitely, but
Mm-hmm.
we're already moving on. So
Yeah. Well, I think there's definitely an opportunity there, and as she mentions, the size of the country and the number of people there make it maybe I want to say a little, maybe a little bit easier to adopt because just the sheer size of everything. And if she's behind driving that, and you start to see things like I didn't know that how the banks would control your U.S. dollars and determine how much you can spend or keep, and so that I think a lot of uh, the Western world, right, feels when they talk about Bitcoin and they don't see a use case and they're just like, well, you just continue to use dollars. What's the big deal? When the rest of the world, when you look at something like what you're saying in Suriname, where you can only what you can spend is dictated, and then others who may not even have banks, right? With Bitcoin, it can go directly to them. They have control of their own finances, the financial freedom that comes with it. That I think a lot of the world just takes for granted, some of the freedoms that we have with that and how Bitcoin is used elsewhere. So I think it's super important what you're doing and what Maya is helping drive. I obviously can't say enough about like SAS Mining, that team for going in, and I'll let you know that we're gonna through our company at Sovreign, we're gonna adopt some players as well, and
thank you
then
very much.
hopefully we can hopefully this podcast gets out and other people see this and what you're doing, and just like you said, it's a cup of coffee a month that you can put toward making the lives of these kids better, um, it, both as athletes, as something to do, as for education. It's so important, and it goes to show that the good that Bitcoin can do in the world. There's a lot of people who talk about it, how great Bitcoin can help other people and how great it can help society, but actually, instead of talking about it, putting it to use and being people of action instead of just talking, I think is very important for what you all are doing, and which is one of the reasons I wanted to highlight you all, and hopefully help to get the word out even further. And the other thing we're doing with my side company is anyone who buys the Bitcoin Suriname T-shirts from our website, which will be on there, 100% of the profits are going toward you and Nova Stars and Bitcoin adoption. In fact, the the inner tags of the shirts are QR codes, which lead you right to the Geyser Fund, which I think is pretty cool. So anything we can do to help and kind of grow and increase Bitcoin adoption is kind of what we're looking for. Um, but Ryan, we've kind of talked a while, and I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know you're very busy, but I'm going to include, if you don't mind, I'm going to include your PDF with the breakdown of your team and the different sponsorship opportunities, the player adoption, where they can take part of that. I'll include that in all of everything I send out, so that everyone can see that. And I'll include obviously the Nova Stars and everything you all doing, um, and the Geyser Fund link as well. And I'll advertise this. To make sure it sees as many eyes as possible. But I do want to thank you for everything you're doing. I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to talk with me. And I truly just want to thank you for everything you're doing to help the youth. I've talked to you before over WhatsApp. I got 3 daughters. They've become my entire life is making sure I help them grow, and obviously the communities as well. So thank you for everything you're doing and continue to do. I really appreciate it.
Yes, thanks.
Yep. All right, Ryan.
And
Well,
thank
thank you
you
so
for
much.
the opportunity.
Hmm?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's my honor to have you on here. It truly is. But we'll end that right here. And thank you, Ryan. I really appreciate you, and thank you for all you do.